One of the four attachment styles is responsible for 70% of relationship failures. And you probably have it. It's not the one therapists talk about most. It's the one that hides in plain sight, disguised as independence. It's called dismissive avoidant attachment. And if you've ever been told you're emotionally distant, fear commitment, or seem allergic to vulnerability, listen closely. Because unlike anxious attachment, which everyone seems to understand, dismissive avoidance flies under the radar. You might not even know you have it. Dismissive avoidance forms when caregivers consistently ignore emotional needs in childhood, not through abuse, but through emotional unavailability. Your parent wasn't cruel, they were just absent when you needed comfort. So your developing brain learned a brutal lesson. Needing people is dangerous. Self-reliance is survival. Here's how it shows up in adulthood. You're fiercely independent. You pride yourself on not needing anyone. You're the friend people call in crisis, but you never make those calls yourself. In relationships, you're fine until things get serious. Then suddenly, every flaw in your partner becomes unbearable. Psychology professor Diane Poole Heller explains it this way. Dismissive avoidants have a relationship thermostat. Get too close, they create distance. Too far, they pull you back. But they're rarely aware they're doing it. It feels like honest evaluation. This person isn't right for me. But the truth? No one would be. The pattern looks like this. The chase phase feels electric because emotional safety isn't required yet. Once commitment enters the conversation, you notice everything wrong with them. They're too needy, too emotional, too there. You break up, feel relief, then 6 months later wonder if you made a mistake. A University of Illinois study found that 25% of adults have dismissive avoidant attachment. That's 1 in 4 people. But here's the problem. They're the least likely to seek therapy or recognize the pattern because self-awareness requires vulnerability, and vulnerability feels like weakness. What makes this attachment style so destructive is the deactivating strategies. When intimacy increases, your nervous system activates defenses. You start noticing flaws. You reminisce about exes. You work longer hours. You pick fights. Not consciously. Your brain is protecting you from the terror of depending on someone who might leave. If you're anxiously attached, dismissive avoidants feel like kryptonite. They give just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to feel secure. One woman described it perfectly. Dating him felt like trying to hug a cactus. I kept getting hurt, but I was convinced if I just approached differently, it would work. How to know if this is you? Do you feel suffocated by normal relationship expectations? Do you minimize your own emotions and judge others for having them? Do you fantasize about being alone even when in relationships you wanted? Do you believe you're better off solo? If you checked 3 or more, this is your attachment style. Here's why dismissive avoidance is the hardest to heal. It requires admitting you need help, which violates your core identity. Your whole self-concept is built on not needing anyone. Therapy feels like surrender. But psychology research shows something hopeful. Avoidance can shift to secure attachment faster than anxious types once they commit to the work. The first step isn't talking about feelings. It's learning to tolerate them existing. Practice sitting with discomfort for 60 seconds when vulnerability arises. Don't fix it. Don't rationalize it. Don't distract. Just notice it's there. This rewires your nervous system's threat response. Second step, communicate needs before you shut down. Instead of creating distance through criticism or withdrawal, practice saying, "I'm feeling overwhelmed and need some space to process." This maintains connection while honoring your need for autonomy. Partners can work with honesty. They can't work with stonewalling. Dismissive avoidance isn't a life sentence. It's a coping mechanism that once protected you, but now isolates you. The bravest thing you can do isn't learn to need less. It's learning that needing someone doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Comment avoidant if this hit different. And if you're anxiously attached, wondering how to date someone dismissive, watch this next video. I'll explain why that combination is psychology's cruelest trap.